Ambe Steels, J Bancha, Diko Bancha. Pentagon International College, Tinkune, Kathmandu, where excellence prevails. Real, Jamghar jahan real party pack tyahan.
Proud to be associated with Kantipur News.
From mid-July, the government is implementing a new rule under which only public health institutions will be the first point of contact for health insurance services. In a different context, the government has honored 8 returnee migrant workers for their entrepreneurial success, with Robin Pokhrel awarded the National Outstanding Entrepreneur Award. And in sports, Nepal's under-16 cricket team stormed into the semi-finals of the East Zone Cup, defeating Bhutan by a massive margin and staying unbeaten in the tournament. That and more in today's Kantipur News. Good evening, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the top stories of the hour. National Assembly members demand a probe into what they call manipulation of the cooling-off period in Civil Service Bill. Also draw the government's attention for relief of citizens affected by floods. Trade unions and employers yet to reach an agreement regarding minimum wage for workers. Despite deadline of mid-July nearing, employers lobby with the government against reviewing wages. Thailand's Constitutional Court suspends Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra after mounting pressure to resign over her leaked phone conversation with former Cambodian leader Hun Sen. And Nepal secures a dominant win over Bhutan in the ACC Men's Under-16 East Zone Cup, booking a spot in the semi-finals. At today's meeting of the National Assembly, members of Parliament demanded an investigation into the manipulation, what they call, of the cooling period in the Civil Service Bill passed by the House of Representatives. They also called for action against those found guilty. Lawmakers also drew the government's attention to the need for proper arrangements for citizens that have been affected by floods. Speaking during the 0 hour of today's National Assembly meeting, lawmakers demanded an investigation into the removal of the 2-year cooling-off period from the Federal Civil Service Bill passed by the lower house. Lawmaker Naren Datta Mishra stated that those who manipulated the cooling-off period should be investigated and punished.
निजामती विधेयक प्रतिनिधि सभाबाट त पास भयो तर कुलिङ अफ पिरियड भनिएको र लेखिएको कुरामा फरक सांसदहरू भन्छन् विश्वासघात भयो अचम्मको नाटक दोषीमाथि छानबिन होस् सके कारबाही पनि होस् कारबाही होस्.
Lawmakers in the meeting also demanded a government plan for the rehabilitation and relief of displaced citizens, stating that people across the country are being affected by continuous rainfall. They urged the government to focus on compensation and relief for citizens severely affected by rain in Karnali and Sudur Paschim provinces.
कृषि उत्पादन र उत्पादकत्वमा वृद्धि गर्ने भनेर सरकारले रटान लगाएको लगाइ छ तर यो वर्ष पनि मल कृषकहरूलाई पर्याप्त मात्रामा चाहिँ छैन. नेपालमा कृषिको मलको माग 11 देखि 13 लाख मेट्रिक टन छ तर सरकारले जम्मा 4 लाख मेट्रिक टन मात्रै आयात गर्न सकेको छ.
मध्य असारसम्म देशभरि 20% मात्र रोपाई भएको छ. यस वर्ष पोरभन्दा 43,000 हेक्टर कम क्षेत्रमा रोपाई कम हुनेछ. यसरी हामी कसरी आफ्नो लक्ष्य पूरा गर्छौं त्यतातर्फ म सरकारको ध्यान आकर्षण गराउन चाहन्छु.
Members of the upper house also urged the government to manage the haphazard electrical wires in Tarai districts and provide compensation to affected families, as electrocution due to disorganized wires has resulted in human casualties. The main opposition party in Parliament, the RPP, has demanded that the Speaker and Secretary resign and assist in the investigation, stating that the incident regarding the cooling-off period is a crime against the state.
नेपालको जुन कानुन बनाउने कुरामा यस्तो छेडखानीले न यो देशलाई फाइदा गर्छ यो त राज्य अपराध हो. किनभने हामीले संसद बनाएका छौं, समितिहरू बनाएका छौं, ती समितिमा सांसदहरूको महत्त्वलाई नै तपाईको छेडखानी गर्ने यो ठ्याक्कै के हो भने राज्य विरुद्धको कसुर जस्तै हो. समितिका सभापतिले आफूले राजीनामा दिएर बाटो मार्ग प्रशस्त गर्नुपर्छ, छानबिन गर्नुपर्छ। छानबिन गरेर भोलि उहाँ दोषी भएपछि कारबाही गर्नुपर्छ र उहाँ यदि नभएर कर्मचारीले त्यो हरकत गरेका हुन् भने राज्य विरुद्धको कसुर लगाएर तपाईको अपराध गर्नेहरूलाई चाहिँ जेल सजाय हुनुपर्छ। यो सामान्य अपराध।
Main opposition party CPN Maui Centre has demanded action against those involved in the manipulation of the Civil Service Bill passed by the House of Representatives, stating that it has shamed the Parliament itself. The party has also called for the formation of a committee to investigate the matter and proceed accordingly.
संसदको उपहास गर्ने गरी हाम्रो सार्वभौम अधिकारमाथि हस्तक्षेप गर्ने गरी जुन कुरा गरियो, जुन षड्यन्त्र गरियो, जुन बदमाशी गरियो, एकदम निज तुच्छ कार्य हो यो। त्यसकारण यो कार्यको पहिला सबभन्दा पहिले छानबिन हुनुपर्छ। छानबिन भएर यसको जिम्मेवारी कसले लिने हो? सचिवले लिने, सभापतिले लिने, समितिले लिने। यसको जिम्मेवारी कसले लिने? जिम्मेवारी लिनुपर्छ र यो खालको छलछाम गरेर कानुनमै हेराफेरी हुने अवस्था आयो भने देशमा जनताले कसलाई विश्वास गर्ने, व्यवस्थापिकालाई कसरी विश्वास गर्ने, कानुनप्रति कसरी विश्वास गर्ने भन्ने एउटा गम्भीर प्रश्न उठेको छ। हामीप्रति एउटा गम्भीर प्रश्न उठेको छ। यसको जवाब छानबिन गरी आवश्यक कारबाहीको प्रक्रिया अगाडि बढाएर मात्रै र यसलाई सच्याउने कुरामा अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ भनेर मैले आफ्नो कुरा भनेर आएको छु।
जानाजानी सभापतिजी समेत संलग्न हुनुहुन्छ भने यो त कृत्य जालसाजी हो, कानुनी हिसाबले पनि गम्भीर कुरा हो। यदि ल ठिक छ उहाँको संलग्नता छैन भने पनि नैतिक रूपमा उहाँले आफूले सिग्नेचर गरेको कुरा भन्दा विपरीत कहाँबाट आयो त? त्यसैले नैतिक रूपमा सबभन्दा पहिला समितिको सभापति र सचिवले राजीनामा दिनुपर्छ र यसलाई एउटा उच्चस्तरीय या संसदीय के हुनसक्छ छलफल गरेर एउटा छानबिन समिति बनाउनुपर्छ र यस घटनामा संलग्न रहेकाहरूलाई गम्भीर रूपमा कारबाही गर्नुपर्छ।
Hriday Ram Thani, a member of the State Affairs Committee and a Nepali Congress Member of Parliament, has stated that preparing a bill that deviates from the consensus reached in the Parliamentary Committee is a serious offence. He has demanded an investigation and action against those who drafted the bill outside the agreed upon terms.
हामीले के भन्यौं भने पार्लियामेन्ट भित्र ऐन बनाउने कुरालाई विधेयकमा हामीले के भने तपाईहरु यो जे चाहिँ यसलाई बाधा नपर्ने गरेर तपाईहरु जानुस् भन्दाखेरि ठीक त्यसको विपरीत लेखियो। यो वास्तवमा सुनियोजित षड्यन्त्रै कहीँबाट भइरहेको अवस्था छ। त्यसैले तपाईले यो पार्लियामेन्टको अभिभावक भएका कारणले तपाईले यसलाई हेरेर त्यो व्यवस्था जो सांसदहरुको भावना छ, जो अहिलेको परिस्थिति ऐन बनिरहेछ त्यो भावनामा तपाईले टेकेर एउटा अभिभावकको भूमिका तपाईले निर्वाह गरिदिनुस् भन्ने कुरा हामीले अब सम्माननीय सभामुखजीलाई भनेका छौं। अब हेरौं परिस्थिति कसरी जान्छ त्यही अनुसारको तपाईहरुलाई फेरि जानकारी गराउँला।
It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse, brought to you by Global College of Management, the first choice for +2 management. Baneshwar, Kathmandu. Nepal Mega College, Babar Mahal, Kathmandu. Global School of Science, an exclusive center of +2 science, Baneshwar, Kathmandu.
The question is, what's your take on the lower house approving civil service bill against the agreement at the concerned committee? Your options are A, ploy by committee chair, B, pressure from top leaders, C, it's a trick and action is due, and D, no comment. Visit www.kantipurtv.com or ekantipur.com to share your opinion with us. Welcome back. With the deadline fast approaching, trade unions and employers in Nepal have yet to reach an agreement on revising the minimum wage for workers. Although the new wage rate is scheduled to come into effect from 17th of July, negotiations remain deadlocked.
Trade union representatives are demanding that the minimum wage be raised to 30,440 Nepali rupees, while employer groups have been pressuring the government not to revise the current rate, citing ongoing economic challenges. Workers' representatives argue that the current minimum monthly wage of 17,300 Nepali rupees is insufficient. Their revised proposal includes 19,920 rupees for food and 10,523 for housing and clothing, totaling 30,443 Nepali rupees to meet the basic needs of a 5-member family.
र अर्को गैर खाद्यमा 10,523 रुपैयाँ, जम्मा 30,443 रुपैयाँ नभई नहुने देखिन्छ। र यो डाटाले पनि के देखिन्छ भने अस्ति प्रधानमन्त्रीजीले भन्नुभएको र प्रधानमन्त्रीजीको सल्लाहकारले भन्नुभएको कुरा एकदम सत्य रहेछ र हामी त्यही कुरामा अहिलेसम्म हाम्रो सोच त्यही छ।
Workers have also criticized the government and employers, claiming that even the current minimum wage of 17,300 Nepali rupees is not being implemented in 64% of establishments. Moreover, employer associations have cited ongoing economic downturns as the reason behind their appeal to the government not to revise the wage structure at this time. Officials from the Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security say efforts are still underway to bring both sides to an agreement.
होइन हामी त पहिल्यै भइदियो हुन्थ्यो भन्ने हाम्रो चाहना भर्सक अब आजै पनि मिटिङ राखेका छौँ भोलि पनि राखेका छौँ हामी त कन्टिन्यू राखिरहन्छौँ भर्सक पहिल्यै भइदियो हुन्थ्यो भन्ने हाम्रो चाहना हो होइन हामी त गरिरहेछौँ अब उहाँहरूको बिचको सहमति भयो भने हो भएन भने फेरि हामी के गर्छौँ एकदम ज्याला निर्धारण आफैमा किन चुनौतीपूर्ण छ भने सरकारले हामी त्रिपक्ष बसेर निर्धारण गर्ने दिने फेरि सरकारले भन्दा पनि रोजगारदाताले दिने हो त्यसकारणले रोजगारदाता र श्रमिकका प्रतिनिधिहरू बिचमा सहमति हुनुपर्छ.
The government had last revised the minimum wage, excluding T-state workers, to 17,300 Nepali rupees effective from 17th of July. Labour organizations had initially demanded a minimum wage of 25,000 rupees 2 years ago. However, citing economic constraints, the government only increased the wage by 2,300 rupees at the time. If trade unions and employers fail to reach an agreement, the government is expected to unilaterally set a new minimum wage effective from 17th of July 2025. For Kantipur News, a report by Suman Panta with camera person Bikash Joshi.
Agriculture experts have advised the government to adopt a crop protection policy to improve the agricultural economy. Speaking at a program held today in Lalitpur, the experts suggested tightening regulations on the import of plants, citing the recent outbreaks of diseases such as the TR4 in bananas, fall armyworm in maize and tuta absoluta in tomatoes. They also recommended practicing clean crop production to boost agricultural output and the export of products.
त्यो रोग किराहरूबाट चाहिँ जुन नुकसान भइरहेको छ किसानहरूको नेपालमा 25 देखि 35% रोग र किराले खेतदेखि भण्डारणसम्म नुकसान गरिरहेको छ. त्यो 25 देखि 35% नुकसानलाई हामीले यदि कम गर्न सक्यो भने हाम्रो खाद्य सुरक्षालाई त्यसले टेवा पुर्याउन सक्छ. र त्यसै अर्थमा चाहिँ विभिन्न किसिमका नयाँ टेक्नोलोजीमा कस्ता किसिमका रिसर्चहरू भएका छन् के फाइन्ड आउट भएछ भन्ने कुराहरूलाई लिएर हामीले 32 वटा नयाँ रिसर्चको फाइन्ड आउटलाई यहाँ आज प्रस्तुत गर्नेछौँ र त्यो फाइन्ड आउटको आधारमा मलाई के विश्वास छ भने नेपाल सरकारले कृषि मन्त्रालयले त्यसलाई चाहिँ एउटा पोलिसीको रूपमा लिएर यो खाद्यान्नमा हुने नोक्सानीलाई कम गर्नलाई त्यसले मद्दत गर्छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ.
Diseases affecting crops are considered trade barriers. Due to pest and disease outbreaks, it has become difficult to export domestically produced goods. Pressure from influential individuals has led to contracts being awarded for development projects without securing the necessary budget from the Ministry of Finance. This has created significant challenges in the implementation of these projects. Both federal and provincial government infrastructure projects have been facing similar issues, particularly in local development sector. In Palpa, dozens of large-scale projects remain incomplete due to a lack of funding. And as a result, even by the end of the contractual deadlines, most have not reached even 40% physical progress.
Several major road infrastructure projects in Palpa district are stalled due to chronic underfunding despite contracts being awarded with fixed completion deadlines and large budgets. The Keladi Panthe Sahalko Chalbas road project, contracted in the fiscal year 2022-23, was to be completed in 3 years. However, only 30% of the physical work has been completed so far. The project's financial progress stands at just 22%. Construction came to a halt last fiscal year after the contractor was not paid on time. Originally awarded at 244.4 million Nepali rupees, the 7-kilometer road received only 36 million Nepali rupees in the fiscal year 2024-25, leaving it in limbo due to a budget shortfall.
बाटो खने खेती हुँदा हुँदै खने बनाउँछु भने अब अहिलेसम्म बनाए पनि छैन. अब एकदम हिलो माटो जो जम्मै सहनु परेको छ. खासै खेती त अब खेती त गइसक्यो फेरि पनि बनाउला भन्ने आश थियो. वाले वाल छ भन्ने यो गर्ने बजेट परे छैन भन्ने अन्त गर्ने गरेर काम चाहिँ त्यतिकै स्थगित गरेर बसिरहेको छ.
Another affected project is the Dil Bahadur Marg, Amlihan Tin Piple Road in Tansen Municipality Ward 9, part of the constituency's strategic road program. This project was contracted at 259.7 million Nepali rupees through the Federal Road Division Office in Palpa, but has only achieved 30% physical and 19% financial progress so far, again due to budget constraints. Similarly, the section of the Arya Bhanjang Rampur Road overseen by the Lumbini province government is also facing delays. Although a contract was signed for 242.6 million Nepali rupees to complete 4.5 kilometers of road by 3rd of July 2025, only 40% of the physical work has been completed to date.
लेबरहरु आएर अब बस्न सक्दैनन्, काम पाइदैन, बराबर काम हुँदैन, कहिले मसिन बिग्रिन्छ, कहिले के बिग्रिन्छ।
पैदल हिँड्न दुःख हुन्छ, गाडी फस्छ, गाडीलाई पनि दुःखै हुन्छ।
The issue is not isolated. Across Palpa, over a dozen infrastructure projects, including roads, concrete bridges, and government buildings, have been severely affected due to the failure of both federal and provincial governments to secure budgets after awarding contracts. In the current fiscal year, many new contracts under the Alternative Secondary Development Highway Program have suffered the same fate. Projects worth around 30 million Nepali rupees each, which were supposed to be completed by 4th of July, have shown minimal progress due to insufficient budget disbursement.
मन्त्रालय मातहतकै कार्यालयहरुमा बचत रकमबाट बजेट दिने आधारमा हामीले ठेक्कापट्टा आह्वान गरियो र ठेक्का सम्झौता पनि गरिएको छ। चालु अवधिमै सम्पन्न गर्ने गरी गरिएको ठेक्कापट्टाको लागि आवश्यक मात्रामा पर्याप्त रकम बजेट विनियोजन नभएको अवस्था छ।
Without guaranteed budgets, contractors are unable to proceed with construction or receive timely payments, leaving vital infrastructure projects across Palpa abandoned or drastically delayed. A report by Madhav Varyal for Kantipur News.
Sports News.
With a brilliant century from Ronak Srivastav, Nepal secured a dominant win over Bhutan in the ACC Men's Under-16 East Zone Cup and remains unbeaten, booking a spot in the semi-finals. Nepal defeated Bhutan by a massive margin of 298 runs. It also marked Nepal's fourth consecutive victory in the tournament, being held in Malaysia. With this win, Nepal maintained a 100% win record and entered the semi-finals as the winner of Group A. Bhutan, on the other hand, lost all its group matches. Winning the toss and choosing to bat first at the Selangor Turf Club, Nepal scored 358 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the allotted 50 overs. Nepal had a poor start as Parimardhan Yadav was out for just 2 runs on the 4th ball of the first over. Prasidha Jaisi managed only 7 runs. By the 5th over, Nepal had already lost 2 wickets for just 17 runs. Both openers were dismissed by Sanjay Dorji. For the 3rd wicket, Shivans Bajgai and Ronak Srivastava put on a partnership of 91 runs to stabilize the innings. Shivans scored a half-century with 54 runs off 52 balls, including 5 fours, before being run out. Ronak and Shugam Burathoki then shared another impressive 72-run partnership for the 4th wicket. Sugam scored 35 runs off 33 balls before being caught out on Tenzin Lode's delivery. Ronak completed his century in 95 balls. He went on to score 168 off 132 balls, smashing 16 fours and 5 sixes before being caught out. For the 5th wicket, Ronak and Joy Thapa shared a 17 run century partnership in 130 balls. Joy remained unbeaten on 61, while Sachin Bhatt stayed not out at 8. For Bhutan, Sanjay Dorji took 3 wickets. Chasing a massive target of 359 runs, Bhutan managed only 60 runs for 9 wickets in 32.4 overs. The last Bhutan batter did not come out to bat, confirming Nepal's victory. Bhutan's Uyog Chopel was out for 10 runs, while Sijang Dawa was the top scorer with 14. No other batsman could reach double figures. For Nepal, captain Bipin Sharma took 4 wickets, conceding just 7 runs in 10 overs. Sachin Bhatt and Suyog Bhattarai took 2 wickets each. Defending champions Nepal will now face Malaysia, the runner-up of Group B in the semi-final. The other semi-final between Hong Kong and Singapore will also take place Thursday. The final and 3rd place matches will be held on 5th of July. That is all for the moment. At 7 p.m, our colleague Rupa Khadka will join you with Nepali news. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.